Guys, welcome to another episode of Founder Wisdom Pod. We have Eugene Lisovsky with us. He is 3X founder. He's building an AI coach for basket, which is super interesting in itself. He built maps.me to 150 million users. That is flabbergasting. He'll talk also about leaders.com or litres.com, written in French, which was brought at $100 million ARR. He's an engineer, growth hacker, and father. Eugene, welcome to the pod. Tell us a bit more about yourself and your businesses.
Hi, Carlos. Thank you so much. Yeah, everything is correct. So I have experience in building apps on a global scale. And actually, my journey in entrepreneurship started in 2015. At that time, I was CMO of LITRES. It's the biggest ebook store in CIS. So we started from actually let me rewind to the very beginning. So I'm an engineer, like radio physics engineer, and in 2004 I became a dad. Suddenly, not suddenly, but actually I was too young, but I had to go somewhere and make some money. At that time, I was building websites on PHP and MySQL. I was actually the developer and system administrator, working at my father's office. And I had to make more money to support my family, my kid. So I was looking for a job as a web developer, but I couldn't find it. And the international company made me an offer as an internet marketing manager. And they asked me is marketing your passion? I was like, well, I was building websites, doing some search engine optimization. Okay, yes, marketing is I love marketing, but actually I was like classic nerd developer, and I started growing myself as internet marketing manager, growing to marketing director, and then actually the most the most interesting part of my career is building this ebook store, the biggest ebook store actually in CIS in Russia. It was from 50K MRR to 15 million ARR, and from 300,000 users to 25 million users. And actually, it was a pretty cool experience of building marketing on a very large scale, different kind of marketing, partnership, search engine optimization, mobile ads, lots of stuff. Actually, also building the product itself, mobile product. And in 2016, I became CEO of Maps.me. It's flying maps to travelers. It was also very good experience in terms of understanding how to build the best product. Like creating cool product is the way to get more organic users and word of mouth. So that was the marketing experience, and product experience, and in 2020, we decided to start development of my own business with my co-founder, Level Up Basketball. It's actually the high-level pitch is very simple. It's Strava for basketball. That's what we started with. Actually, what is Strava is an app for runners. It's community tracking, user-generated content, and some subscription-based models. So we decided in 2019, we decided to take a look at the US market. Like what's happened there? Is there something similar to Strava, but for basketball? And we couldn't find it. It was pretty much weird. Like US market, the top about basketball. There's nothing similar to Strava for basketball. So we decided to build it. We launched in the end of 2021. We raised 150K from a pretty big Ukrainian fund, Flyer One Ventures, and when the war happened, we lost commitment with the second investor for 200K. They just disappeared because many investors at that time, just, whoa, what's happening? So we were struggling, but we decided to pivot the product more to consumer, because we launched first as B2B product for basketball facilities. And scaling the product for business is pretty much hard with the lack of money, and it's a longer sales process. So we decided to do something for consumers, because this is something where you can get more traction faster and understand how to move forward. And step by step, we started to see more and more users, more organic users, like even coaches registered in the app, growing revenues, retention rates. So to be honest, the first vision of Strava for basketball is actually in the place. And we saw the future of it in terms of computer vision, like adding some technology to help you train better in basketball. Actually, Level Up is like one-stop app for basketball community, where you can observe latest news about basketball, read updates by your friends, just like in Strava. You can train. We have like 300 professionally created basketball training drills and workouts. And right now, in 3 weeks, something like this, we will launch computer vision AI that will give you personalized feedback about your drill performance, how you from the drill, is it correct or not, giving you some instructions how to do it better. And the biggest problem in basketball, actually, matching players and finding people and places to play with, because people play basketball because they love the game and they train to play better. So and very simple vision, in 2 or 3 years, Level Up will be just like Strava, with something like 20 million install base, 10 million monthly active users all over the globe. The biggest basketball community of people who love basketball, train, play, and watch updates by their friends. And then M&A deal with someone like Adidas, Nike, NBA equity, whatever. We have references to different kind of companies who were going that way, or maybe IPO. I don't know. This can be a huge story if you can build the community and pass the threshold where you will start growing exponentially. Actually, there's no limit to be like to have all the basketball community in one app, and that's where we're going now.
I'm sure you will. Where do I invest? Where do I sign the check?
No worries. Yeah, you can drop me an email. I will sign you the safe agreement, because right now we're backed. We have commitments with investors, but by the end of this year we will raise seed round, and this will be like the stage that is very familiar for me, because Maps.Me and LITRES, both of those companies were on the seed stage and higher. So hiring people, people management, operations is what I do very good, because it's my core skill. And launching the company from the scratch, from zero, and growing it to one is the most difficult part of entrepreneurship. Because I've spent my last savings last year in product, because I arrived to the United States in the end of July, expecting to raise money in 3 months. And we were running out of money, and I had to do nothing rather than invest my own money. It was very risky, because I was like running out of my personal capital by the end of last year. So it's like, and I had like 5,000 on my account. Staying in New York City, the most expensive city in the world. Like, I thought that I will die homeless on the streets of New York City, playing my ukulele, trying to get some money for food. It's like most of entrepreneurs have the same.
You just give basket lesson, dude. Like, you go at the court, and you charge them $10, for an hour. Hey, dude, I'm gonna be your coach for an hour, and you throw them the ball, you play a bit of 1v1, you just charge them $10. That's the worst case.
Yeah, but it's pretty much like what you're talking about is exactly the thing that we're planning to do in the app, because like the feature for pickup games, when you're looking for people and place to play with, in most cases there is one person who organizes everything. So, and there are quite a lot of coaches. We have about 3,000 users registered themselves as coaches. Maybe not all of them are really real coaches, but a couple of thousand for sure are people who can train basketball. But as we're building this computer vision AI that will completely actually not remove, but like it will give option for basketball players to train by themselves with the
Yeah, it
phone.
will completely revolutionize all sports. So freaking
Absolutely.
exciting. Because yeah, the finding friends, like I've built one. I've been wanting to build an app for that. Me, in my case, would be MMA, would be a huge winning app, because you could filter assholes that do not know how to spar via the ones that know how to fight and are good sparring partners, basically.
Mhm.
I think that's another huge market. And yeah, the vision, the vision learning and seeing and having a coach. Just if you spar with a boxing bag, for example, the other day I went here to an MMA gym, and the coach totally turned me off, like it's like tried to dismantle all my techniques and shit, and I really didn't like his coaching style, and I just wish there would be an app to actually do that and coach me to higher levels. So I think, yeah, and that there's not a lot of gyms also in this city that I'm at, which is Oaxaca. But it leads to my next question. Just like I do this for an MMA app, I mean, I love the niche basket. I'm playing myself. I do have hints that basket players are growing, but what are the stats of the market? Because lately we've been seeing a lot of these basket academies, and I think they're pretty cool. But is the sport growing? Why did you pick that niche, other than the passion part of it? Like, is it growing?
Yeah, first of all, why basketball? We've been playing basketball since 12 years old with my co-founder. So that's why we know how basketball improves your character and teamwork. And actually, basketball is number 2 sport in terms of amount of people who play basketball, not just fans. It's
Okay.
500 million basketball players. The biggest market is Chinese. It's like 300 million basketball players in China. It's
I'd
like
say
10 times.
Serbia also is crazy, right? Like in terms of growth.
Absolutely. It's like I was thinking, like I was trying to analyze why it's so popular, and the reason number one, it's very affordable. Like, you just need the ball and like
And
kicks
yourself and the hoop,
and yourself. You can play by yourself. You can play 1-on-1. You can play two by two. So there are lots of options where how you can play, and also the NBA. What is NBA doing? Like in terms of like all Americans, they do know how to sell streamings, games, all the competitions. Very energizing, sticky, interesting show that when I first came to like basketball, not NBA, of course, but that was like it was very cool. So you see the game. If you play the game, you want to see more. So and if you take a look at Netflix and Hulu and other like Amazon Prime, you will see that within the last 2 years, there were quite a lot of movies about basketball. All this media improves the knowledge about basketball and like spread it around the globe. So that's why people play more basketball. And if they
I
play
have
more
another
basketball,
one. The rap culture, just the fact that rappers go with the word baller, and they've popularized this term, and the lifestyle that comes with playing ball. Um, the legend that was Kobe Bryant, for example. So there's a lot of cultural traction also with
yeah.
playing ball, like if you listen to rap, you're familiar with that culture, and rap is growing also, and will continue to do so for quite a while. So I do think that helps also.
Yeah, the market is growing. Actually, I have like research on the amount of basketballs, even just balls sold in the next like decade. So it should triple in the next 10 years, and it's pretty much cool. And in terms of what's also unique about basketball is that on just one court you can play like separately on 2 baskets, 4-on-4, like 16 people on one court. It's unlike soccer or any other kind of sport. It takes less space with more people playing on it. That's why maybe it's so popular in Asia. And actually, the second market in terms of amount of basketball players is Philippines. 50 million Philippines playing basketball. They're
Wow.
not as so paying. The more paying customers are in the US, of course, but still Philippines are very active. And overall in the world, it's pretty like number 2 sport in terms of players, and about 2.2 billion fans who just watch basketball. But I do believe that people who watch basketball, at some point they start training, at some point they start playing. So it's like pipeline to convert fans to players. So the market is huge, actually. And I was really surprised that in the US market, there was no such a kind of app. So we were lucky. And the COVID actually did a job, because there were several apps for basketball at that time in 2019, but in 2020, most of them died just because of the COVID. And we started development in 2020 in the summer, expecting that COVID will end someday. And when we launched, exactly like in 2021, and all the COVID restrictions in 2022 were canceled, and it started to grow organically. So like it's just we started it in the right time. So it's a little bit luck for us.
Yeah, I guess it's like up and down, right? So it's like there's places of the business that have struggled and others that have taken off, which is the beauty of life in business. And I'm
Absolutely.
also very much surprised that there's no like a flagship app out there for basket. Why isn't NBA doing this?
NBA makes a lot of money on like streamings of NBA games. So I think that it's like in any corporation, when you build some startup inside of corporation with huge amount of revenues, and you build something small, you're not visible inside. Comparing with like other internal projects that might generate a huge amount of money. So the same thing works for NBA. It's also a huge corporation. So for them, like we're still under the radar, but as soon as we get more and more like players in one app, because NBA's app, it's good for like watching NBA, but there's nothing to do rather than watching NBA there. It's a little bit boring. Like you can subscribe to NBA players, but what we're building inside the app, we're merging mobile games experience. We do really have a couple of like mobile games integrated in the app, because I call this retention engineering, because to keep users engaged in the app, you need to create something that will give them the option to use the app on a daily basis, because otherwise you're competing with TikTok, which is like way more addictive than any other app. So, and if you're focusing, like normally startups that disrupt, like, or maybe not disrupt, but create something in the area where there is a huge player like NBA, is usually focusing on like younger audience, like Gen Z. So that's why our approach in the app focused on gamification, mobile games experience that actually creates some kind of fun, and the app must be fun and engaging nowadays. If you just created single purpose app that users will not use on a daily basis, you have a risk to be forgotten in a couple of days, just because of huge amount of other things happening. And that's why we are focused. That's why we're not afraid of this kind of competition, because we're not direct competitors yet. We're just building beautiful app just because we're basketball players by ourselves, and we at some point I'm building it also for myself, because I want to find people to play with when I need it, without going to Reddit and like type in, "Hey guys in New York City, who want to play like tomorrow?" No one will answer you, because no one is checking Reddit on a daily basis. And what we want to do is that you will be able to find in any place in the world. And there's another huge trend of traveling. People started to travel a lot. And when I saw the like forecast for travel market for the next decade, it is just huge. And people changing places. And if you're moving from place to place and you play basketball, you will definitely have the problem of looking for people to play with, new people to play with. And getting just on the court is not a solution, because I know the guy I was living for 3 months in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen. And I had friends from United States who moved to Mexico. And the guy who was like ex-Marine soldier, he told like, I asked him, how do you search for like people to play with? He said, okay, I just jump in the car and riding around, looking at the basketball courts if there are people out there to play with. It's a bit weird. So this is something that needs to be fixed with the community and all the beautiful stuff that we're building inside the app.
Yeah, in Mexico, you just show up to a court. I play solo, and yeah, people ask me like, "Hey, do you want to 1v1?" Which is interesting because I play hockey in Canada, and you go in a skating rink, and there the behavior of asking people to play is like more natural, I guess, because that's the sport I grew up with. And Mexico, they just ask me out, kids, and it's always a lot of fun to play. Got like so many ideas. Listening to first, like when it comes to gamification, just having the vision learning app play a noise when you shoot in the right posture, and then another noise when you make a swish. That would be very addictive. Then for your gamification, if you could offer Jordans after like 2,000 hoops or something like that, and then tickets to the Lakers after 10,000 hoops, that would be pretty goddamn addictive. Just like I played World of Warcraft when I was younger, I crunched in, at least 5,000 hours to get my epic crossbow and to be the #1 hunter in my realm. So I think that can be pretty addictive. This little app right there. My only concern is with the machine vision, like I think it will take the phone's battery down quite quickly, right?
It shouldn't, because the drills itself are not that long. So I was testing it. We're testing it right now. It's working pretty fast. So eventually it shouldn't drain your battery faster than like the screen time. And actually, why computer vision is so important right now for us, because like in Strava, the app for runners, you have GPS. It's the it's the proof that you really was running, because they see those data. And in Level Up right now, what we have right now, we call it soft tracking. You check mark yourself what you've completed. This is not something we can verify. And with computer vision, we can really verify that you really completed the drill. And with that approach, we can create leaderboards, because if we create leaderboards right now with this kind of soft tracking, anyone can cheat it. And with computer vision, you cannot cheat it. So leaderboards is one of the core drivers of retention for Strava, for example, because you see what place you are in your region globally, and I need to improve my skills. And actually, pickup games, it will be just the beginning in terms of casual games, but later on we plan to go to the next level. Like there are quite a lot of leagues, amateur basketball leagues, where you should commit to some time, buy a jersey and play tournaments. So actually the next step is creating this kind of global tournaments, maybe even verified with the computer vision, maybe verified with the coach who will be the organizer of that event. But actually, just imagine the biggest global basketball league, global, but organized locally, but with the global leaderboards. So you can maybe there will be some kind of travel teams, I don't know, which just travel around the globe and playing with players from different countries. And it's really cool. So there will be way more potential NBA, like future stars for NBA, who will come from any region in the world, because we will make it
influencers also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see so many things in their sponsorships, playing some songs that are sponsored during the game, announcing the score automatically almost. And just having prizes also, right? If you win, then you win yourself a Tesla, or you win a little prize money just to have the testosterone up, that could be quite fun. Or gaining extra fame or move because you did like a 360 stunt move when you're like really near the the hoop. So yeah, me, I can see it. And sports tech is probably one of my favorite area in terms of startups. I'm a huge believer in sports. I think is one of the most resilient slash gritty area, anti-fragile area in startups, because humans are not going to stop competing. We're competing machines. Even there, when there will be robots and AI, I mean, us humans, we're still going to want to compete. We're this is this primal instinct that won't go away. So I'm really bullish on that one.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And besides, the world became very connected in terms of like we're messaging each other in social networks, but still, in some case, we're disconnected, and I mean offline. So I believe that those like games, pickup games, is the new way to establish new connections. It's like networking that you build based on the will to play the game. And actually, also what we need computer vision also is to verify your skill level. It's very important, it's more important like for tennis, because you need to have very similar level of the game, a player with a very similar level of the game. Otherwise, it will be either very hard for you or not interesting for you to play. So the same thing works for basketball, because I would love to play with players of my level or maybe a little bit higher, but not too high, because otherwise it will be not really really will not have fun. So anyway, it's the way to make new connections, because in New York City we're like I've created just a chat in Telegram, and we were thinking on Saturday morning in Central Park, and it's the way to talk with people, to for networking.
Talk shit.
Yeah, the game level, of course, it's not that high. So I enjoy it in terms of networking, not actually enjoy it as the game, because I would love to play with stronger players. But this is what we're working on. So because as a basketball player, I do understand all the pains. So and the actually best products are created usually when you have your personal pain and you understand the vertical you're building the product for. So someday there will be enough users in our app where I can travel around the globe and in any place in the world find a team to play with in the period of time that I have that time to play. Because sometimes even in Mexico, like on Sunday, there was also a lot of people on the basketball court. So I just took my ball, decided to show up, came up, and there was no one there. Like, okay. So just one person, we played one-on-one, and that's it. So, and that's why I do believe that the same thing will happen for other sports. I have connection with the founder of Foursquare. He's building something similar for soccer. It's called Street FC. So the idea actually his idea is pretty interesting. They don't have like trainings like we have, but the idea is to get people who want to play. And his idea is that he has specific event managers who find the place, bring jerseys, and usually the place is like parking lot, free parking lot. So because there is a problem in soccer to find the field.
That's smart.
And it's very interesting idea. So this idea is I took it for Level Up, because I think that basketball coaches will be organizers of some events, and they will be making money on it, like $10 for the roster in the
or
game.
your private court, right? If you have your backyard private court and you're a rich billionaire, then you can even make more money off your property. Decide who advertises and so forth. Can see potential as well with vision learning for injury callouts, right? Like if the bot sees that you're not running, or you're making false movements, or that your posture is a bit messed up, it could tell you, look, there's a warning here. Depending on the court, it could tell you to put some sunscreen on or so forth, or risk of rain, so don't go out at that time. I can also see it giving more tips than just the technique, but supplementation is really important in this world. Like I can come with creatine in my veins and BCAAs and whoop your ass on the court, or I can come like full of foods and super slow mentally and physically. So that's also a cool feature I could see.
Yeah, and also in terms of like the future, how we see it in terms of technology. So computer vision is something that can be like scaled for any phone right now. And but still, you need to take a look at the phone and see how to perform the drill like on the phone. And my vision is moving to augmented reality, to glasses. Actually, there are quite a lot of already, not a lot of, but several glasses you can find on Amazon with augmented reality. Also, Snapchat is working on new.
Apple is gonna launch, and yeah, like I think a bunch of people are saving 3K right now just for that. Well, I think they're gonna. I think in reality they're more gonna be around 2K, like the headphones. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty expensive. But I do think it's gonna be immense ROI to buy these.
It's like right now, as far I don't remember the name of glasses. They you can find them on
glass.
No,
Which
easier. Very simple. Like they look like sunglasses,
right?
But they. We'll put the link in the video because I don't remember. So you can buy them on Amazon. What you can do with them right now is like observe. Like you can see the screen in front of you. The most interesting thing is Spectacles 4 that is building by Snapchat, but they're not releasing it yet. But the idea is for training, and not only for basketball, but any kind of team sport. You put the glasses on and you see the coach in front of you, so you don't need to take a look at the phone, and you use your phone camera as a like computer vision that verifies what you are doing and comparing it with the. So that's the vision for the future for the next maybe like 3 years. So as soon as I don't know, maybe as soon as those glasses will be cheaper, because right now they cost like $200 on Amazon. Just imagine that we can include it in subscription. If you buy like 3-year subscription for Level Up, you get those glasses for free, and you have absolutely immersive experience of basketball training with not just only techniques but also tactics. And with GPT and all this stuff, it will be and like generating maybe even avatar in front of you, digital avatar of this coach. This will be the immersive experience of training. So you will have fully supportive coach who will be talking to you in like Michael Jordan, for example, whatever you want. Or even might look like Michael Jordan. It depends on the like licensing options, because right now is the big issue in with GPT and all the stuff and generative AI to license those. If you want to create digital avatar of Michael Jordan, you definitely need to pay some royalties to him. But it's huge space for improving this educational and coaching level in all kind of sports. So that's the vision: computer vision, AR glasses, and in the next 3 years, probably this will not replace, but more and more people will start training and learning new skills with AI stuff. And I still believe that human coaches will be organizing events. They will be responsible for maybe group sessions, because even right now, if we'll take a group of like 20 people, current technologies we have will not be able to like track 20 people on court and giving personal instructions to all 20 people, and you will not put like 20 phones to check the performance. So in this case, human coaches will be still valuable for group sessions and games, and there will be a lot of options for them to make money on creating those kind of events.
Or who knows, like I mean, that's pretty much limitless, this future. And while listening to, I think one very anti-fragile niche is brand licensing. I think if I would be a smart VC right now, I'd just go and hand out a bunch of checks to the Michael Jackson Foundation, the Steve Jobs, like people that manage these brands, because there's an AI boom and a bunch of people are about to use all of these brands. It's a very contrarian bet, right? Because the narrative right now is that, oh yeah, the AI is gonna pawn everything that is legal, but in reality, I think it's gonna be a fight. So I would just hire the best copyrights lawyer in there. I would be partners with this guy. I'd rake, let's say, a fund of $1 billion, and I would invest that in like all the most anti-fragile brands. Amy Winehouse, let's say, Mac Miller, Avicii, everyone that died, and is not and has their close ones managing that. Most of the time, it's mismanaged. I think that is a $1 trillion industry. I don't think it's about to go away. So you reminded me of that, and yeah, for the app, I think it's the future is the sky's the limit. But I want to ask you, like you said, like IPO. You mentioned like well, first let's start with this. Like, when is your next round, and how much are you seeking?
Right now we're raising. We have 5 million plus minus valuation cap.
Okay.
Standard safe, so it's the same valuation we had on the very beginning when we launched. So because of the tough situation with the fundraising right now all over the globe, we decided to keep it the same. Meanwhile, we are growing in revenue, so we're making right now 30,000 annual revenue and so almost 4,000 monthly revenue. And actually, with this amount of traction and the money we have, we can be valued higher, but still I keep the valuation the same because I need money to get to the next round. The next round we plan to close in the end of this year. It will be the seed round. It will be the equity round, and we plan to reach like 20 to 50K MRR. And actually, I have huge pipeline of investors who are just like waiting for the moment when we reach the specific level of revenue. So there will be a huge row, I think, with people ready to invest on the seed round. So right now we are still in pre-seed, like in between of pre-seed and seed. And by then this year we will raise something like 2 million at 10 million, at least 10 million plus minus valuation cap. And this will be absolutely enough to grow the company on the really high scale. And maybe even we'll, like, going to China is challenging because it's completely different. Like we will need to use different technology stack for like all the backend stuff, and quite a lot of issues that we might have. And also it's huge market, but with huge competition and different kind of. So we're not yet ready, but I think that at the seed round we will be considering to go also to the Chinese market because it's huge.
Interesting decision. And there's Rewind AI. I'm not sure if you've heard about them. They were the guys that were pitching in public with their deck completely public and sending pre-recorded videos to their investors. They were, and I'm actually using them right now. Theoretically, they're recording us and even your face. It's a weird startup. It's like it's kind of Big Brother startup. They record everything on your computer to build an AI with it eventually. And it's really interesting. Go check it out. But basically, my point is, they have a 500K ARR, and I think they raised, was it 200 million or something crazy like that? Yeah, they raised that crazy ARR to round value. Anyway, and I'm curious, like, the challenge here seems to be like, the backend and programming, all of that. Who's in charge of that? Who's building the actual app?
So we have very small teams. So last year, actually we launched with just one developer, who's like full stack developer, but we had to change the team because of the war. And right now we have like 2 outsourced developers, actually part-time. And as we develop the app on Flutter is very cost effective. So it's called cross-platform and it doesn't require a lot of engineering resources. So what you see in the product, everything was done by a pretty small team. So of course, like the next step, I do understand that I was building teams on the biggest scale. Like in MapsMe, we had 50 people and 25 developers. So I do know how to build it on a scale. And but to build a bigger team, you need more money because people can work without payment, but not for a long time. It's pretty hard to build great product without paying the fair salary to developers. So right now, our mode is like default to live. So we're trying to bootstrap as much as possible to be fully independent on investment money. That's the best approach. I would recommend like anyone to like, because if you get some investments and start hiring more and more people, there's so much uncertainty right now in the world. So anything can happen, and you'd better like be more have plan B and C just in case. So building this kind of remote team with scalable. So I can actually, those guys who we work with, I can turn them on, I can turn them off, and increase the development power or decrease it. So it's a very strong position and gives them more confidence that company will keep on up and running. So we have like 2 outsourced developers. I have also designer who works in exchange for stock option plan. It's also outsourced. We don't have that much of tasks right now to have them on full time. But as soon as we raise like seed round, those guys who work right now as outsourced developers, I will just hire them full time, and this will be like reunited again, the team, to build the best product. And like right now, there are so many technologies that like GPT and all the stuff that Copilot that gives you options to perform better, faster, with small resources. So in most cases, you don't need that much amount of developers. And talking about computer vision, so we didn't even develop it by ourselves. Like a couple of years ago, there was a huge trend of like B2B SaaS, and even for computer vision stuff. So there are a couple of companies we're working on right now. They created SDK analyzing computer like biomechanics and exactly for like basketball and other sports. So it's not a consumer product, it's an SDK, but this is what we can start with. So right now, like building our own computer vision solution, it will take like 2 good developers and full time, and at least like 2-3 months to develop it. It's not that difficult, but still it takes time and money. And we found a partner that has already the box solution is ready to go, SDK. And it's absolutely crazy because like, I don't know, 5 years ago it would be absolutely impossible. So you will have to have like 10 ML engineers, like training neural networks. It's very hard. And the data mechanics, what is beautiful about it is that those data is available in real time from it's integrated in operating system of iOS and Android. So actually getting this data is not a big deal, but analyzing it and making some like additional video layer or video editing on the screen, showing where you have like better performance or worse performance. This is something that that is more challenging right now. And the technology itself of analyzing biomechanics is not that difficult. Of course, there's another thing like tracking the ball or tracking if you hit if you may make that shot or not. But it's also not that difficult right now. So many blocks are now like Flutter. Flutter is absolute like before the Flutter, you had to have like 2 developers separate for iOS, Android, and backend, at least 3 people in the team. And now we just have 1 Flutter developer, backend developer, both of them part-time, building pretty much beautiful app. So
right. And then, you know, like full agents, which is one of my dreams. I really love the anti-fragileness of it all, the sports in the physical world, because yeah, GPT will take a good part of the virtual world and the software world, although yeah, it's always more complicated than it looks. I think eventually you're going to build your own algorithm so that it's proprietary. In the case of an acquisition, I think investors would like that. Last question for you, like for me to make a nice headline out of that podcast. When do you think the IPO is going to be, and for how much?
Actually, like talking about IPO, in 2021, in the very beginning of 2021, I was making like some meditation, some practice for mindfulness, where there was like an exercise, like imagine yourself 7 years ahead. And I imagined myself like standing on Bloomberg, like pushing that button. But like it was the first like vision that I have in my mind, because at that time we were still in the process of developing the product. But like, okay, and now you need to make a step back and imagine what like 1 year back, and one more, like imagine all the path of the journey that you made. And it's weird, but things are happening exactly, like not exactly, but still the result. You just need to believe that you can be at that point, because every time, like if you ask myself 10 years ago, if I tell myself 10 years ago where I will be, where I'll be living in New York City, building that startup, like I would definitely say, oh, no way, I don't believe it. So you just need to believe that you can be at that point, because every time you find yourself at that point, you're like, there is no surprise, because it was the clear path. So actually, but to be honest, yes, like basketball, okay, 500 million basketball players. Okay, let's say that we grab like 10% of all basketball players globally. It's 50 million install base, 15. So okay, 20% of them active monthly active users, 10 million. Okay, we make something like 10, like, okay, I don't know, 10% of them paying subscription. So 1 million paying subscribers. Okay, $20 per year. Okay, 20 million ARR. 20 million ARR is not actually enough for the IPO, but maybe I don't see the full picture right now. There might be, like, I don't know, maybe we'll start selling our jerseys, and this will give us more growth. I don't know, like everything can happen. So actually, the IPO starts as soon as you can generate 100 million ARR. So okay, let's imagine that we make it. In this case, we can go to IPO. If not, and we generate good revenues, this will be a very interesting project for like NBA, Nike, Adidas guys who like sell kicks, for example. And the standard, like there are a couple of references for this kind of sport tech products that were acquired by apparel giants. So the deal might be like 200. In my vision, I see like in 3 years, like something like 200 million M&A. And
let's call it a $3 billion IPO.
That would be great, absolutely. But actually, 200 million M&A, I mean, it's not revenue. It's like the valuation. But definitely, okay, if we see that like NBA, Nike, Adidas, they decide that, okay, we can build the biggest. Okay, we can grab the whole basketball community in one app, like not just 50 million basketball players, but like Facebook, like, or Instagram, but all the community inside the app. Okay, in this case, it can grow ahead, but it depends. If we see that it's growing, well, we may continue building it, like Strava. But Strava is also going to IPO, and recently they also told that users of Nike Running Club can upload their tracks to Strava. How do I read it? I read it like this. If you create, Strava is the biggest running community. If you created the biggest running community, small communities will die. So there is no way for them to survive. And the only way is to like combine efforts. So in this case, as soon as we like reach that threshold of network effect and start growing exponentially, for sure, this will be the very interesting
I can see the NBA getting its hands into this,
yeah,
like before you reach the bell. I mean, you might want to decide to continue a la Snapchat and then reach the bell, even if they've been having Zuck on their backs. But yeah, really interesting pod. So yeah, the headline will be this guy wants to IPO for 3 billion. No, but
Okay,
Eugene,
okay. I
it
don't
was
mind.
it was nice talking to you. Where can people find out more about you and your basketball app?
Thank you so much, Charles. It was really nice talking to you. Thanks for the interview. So I'm really like, I can like give some special offer for any for your audience. I will drop a coupon code that they can use to get like free license for a year. So that's what I can give. I just yeah.
Yeah, you'll
Thank
think
you so much.
about something. People can find you on LinkedIn, Eugene Lisovsky, so that's easy. And the website would be levelupbasket.com, right?
Yeah, absolutely.